Are you going through a breakup right now? I mean, this betrayal feels so bad. It's like the worst experience you've ever had. And you're just not sure how to find yourself outside of this person. It's been days, weeks, months, heck, it's been years for some people. And they're still struggling with the transition from a heartbreak this bad. There seems to be so much of this going on around us in the world today. And a good example would be the recent Annie and Two-Face situation that is causing a big roar on the internet. Everybody has something to say about it. I'm not here to tell either one of them what to do or how to live their life. But what I'm here to do today is give you 6 practical steps that you can implement in your life if you're going through a breakup, or if something like what's happening to them happens to you, to help you get on the other side stronger and a better version of yourself. The truth is, breakups can make or break us. Whatever becomes your reality depends on the perspective in which you look at that breakup and the things you're willing to do to see you, to love you, and to heal you as you transition to the other side. My name is Becca, aka the Serenadian, and this is the Dim Din Podcast.
The Dim Din Podcast, a safe space to talk about misconceptions, perceptions, assumptions, and frustrations. Join us for conversations and stories that explore how embracing our differences leads to a balanced, strong, and harmonious world.
Statistics show that about 40 to 50% of marriages end in divorce. Statistics also shows that in Canada, about 2 to 4 times people who are separated or divorced are more likely to commit suicide than people who are married. Truth is, we cannot give an accurate measurement of the negative impact of betrayal. It stings. It just stings. But we also know that as long as relationships exist, breakups will. Everything that has a beginning has an end. Does not have to be a reality. But if it does become your reality, you're not alone. You are not alone. Your pain, it's valid. Your hurt, it is valid. No 2 people will feel the same way about breakups. And no 2 people will go through it the same way. You have to honor yourself through that process. Because this was a person you allowed yourself to love. You shared your space, your time with. Heck, you shared a deeper part of who you are, secrets and all of that with them. You tried building with them. You sacrificed time and energy, resources, a part of you with this person or for this person. And now they're no longer in a relationship with you. They no longer want to be with you. And you're wondering why. I thought I was done with this aspect of life. I had it figured out. I had nothing to worry about anymore. I was doing fine. We were fine. Why would you just wake up one day and say, you don't want to be with me? Why? What have I done wrong? The questions start to go around, and around. Does it have to be your fault? I genuinely do not think so. We've heard of so many celebrities going through breakups. I mean, before they were celebrities, they are human. As you and I are. Around us, there's so many people that we know that we thought were happily married, enjoying their marriage, or were in a happy relationship, enjoying those relationships, building together. And one day, one person wakes up and say, I'm done. Truth is, we're humans. We're not perfect, but interests change. The one thing that is constant in life is change. And because that is a constant reality, you also have to be intentionally mindful of that reality so that when it happens, you don't feel like you're one in a trillion. You are not alone. No, you're not. And that is also the reason why you're going to get through this. Now, coming to some of the key principles, the key steps you can implement into the situation you're experiencing right now to help you get on the other side stronger and a better version of you. The first key that I will say is accept the reality of this being a grieving process for you. It's a loss. It's a loss. No matter how long the relationship lasted, it was a chapter of your life that has come to a close. And because of that, it is a loss that you will grieve. So the key grieving steps that you may go through, and you don't necessarily have to go through all of them or go through them exactly as I'm going to call them. But if you do experience this, please be aware that this is a part of your grieving process. Denial. For some, it takes them more time than others to come to accepting that this relationship has actually ended. We're not on a break. This person is not just upset with me and like trying to punish me for what I've done. No, we're actually done. This chapter is actually closed. Once people get through that denial phase, they tend to go into that anger phase. Oh, after all the time and the effort and the resources that I invested, you there leave me, this person, anger kicks in. Then you try to bargain, you try to negotiate, okay? Okay, maybe if I had done this, if I had done that, or maybe if I do this and if I do that. No. This is a part of your grieving process, okay? Please be mindful that this is a part of your grieving process. Depression might kick in. And if it does, be mindful about that stage of sadness. You're sad about it. That's okay. It's okay to be sad. Usually once it gets to 2 weeks and it continues, you can be diagnosed with depression. So being aware that the place you find yourself where you don't want to eat, you don't want to go out, you feel like you cannot get out of your bed, your mood is low. When you are experiencing that, please be aware that this is a part of that grieving process, and you have it within you to intentionally put effort into the things that would help you heal, that would help regulate your nervous system, that would help restore your reality. You have the ability and the power to put time and effort into those things so that your process of grieving can be controlled by you and not you controlled by this process. Now, once we go through that grieving process, or in the process of going through that, number 2, please be patient with yourself. Be patient with yourself. Now, depending on how long that relationship lasted, your grieving process might be longer than somebody who maybe was in that relationship for 2 months. Be patient with yourself. Please be patient with yourself. What Amy is able to do in 2 months may not be what you are able to do in 2 months, because Amy's life and factors surrounding her life are completely different from what you are going through. Okay? So allow that reality to remind you to be patient with yourself. And while being patient with yourself, please, 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 please stop looking for a reason to blame you. Why do you have to be the victim? Or why do you rather have to be the culprit? Why does it have to be your fault? I wonder what I did to make this happen. I wonder if I hadn't done that, we would still be together. I'm so horrible. I'm just an awful person. I just cannot have anything good in life. Stop. You need you right now more than anybody else. You need to be present for you right now more than you need anybody else. So please, that value system, that sense of self that invites you to blame yourself and take the blame for everything that went wrong, is not helpful right now. Because in the process of doing that, you're also putting this person on a pedestal, making them look like the saint. Why does it have to be a saint-devil situation? Why? I mean, I would encourage anybody to allow yourself to reflect. What could I have done better in that relationship? What did I take for granted? What did I lose in the process? What was it about me that attracted this person to me? And was I able to maintain that version of me in that relationship? If not, why not? Some of those realistic reflections that would help you look within, ask yourselves choices that you made, decisions that you made that probably led to you losing a version of yourself in that relationship that, in fact, in the first place, that person was attracted to. So that when you decide to explore relationships again, you're going in with that knowledge of, I came in as a whole person, and there are versions of me that I want to do my part to maintain, even as I try to have a relationship or as I work on having a relationship with this other person. So let your reflection be about the possibility of evolving, the possibility of healing, the possibility of becoming a better version of yourself, rather than flogging yourself over spilled milk. Is that milk going to get back into the container because you're crying over it? Probably not. I mean, realistically, not. So please do not fall into that trap of becoming the devil while you make your partner or your ex-partner in the situation the angel. They did nothing wrong. It was all my fault. Sorry, sweetheart. It wasn't. Choose self-improvement. Choose self-improvement. You had a period of time that you spent with that person. You built a routine with that person. And you're familiar with that routine. It felt safe because it was comfortable. But now you don't have that comfort. You don't have that routine. And it feels like a part of you is missing. You feel bored. You feel lonely. You don't know what to do with yourself. Let me tell you what you can do with yourself. You have dreams and aspirations. Were there things you wanted to do that you had to put on hold because you were doing your part to be in a relationship with this person? Can we pick those up? Can we learn a new skill? Can we go back to school? Can we go to the gym? Can we do that? Can we learn a new language? Can we learn a new instrument? Do what you need to do to add value to who you are or who you have become. And while you're doing that, number 5, please do not forget your healthy support system. I chose the word healthy intentionally because there are people that will be ready to tell you, I told you that person wasn't good for you. I told you that decision was not a good decision. I don't even know why you stayed that long in that relationship. I. Try to make your situation about them. Those are the people we don't want at that time of our pain. Who you want instead is that person whom, even though they may have seen this coming, they may have warned you about it, they may have cautioned you about it, they are still willing to sit down and say, what can I do to support you? What do you need from me right now? How can I be of help right now? Those are the people you want to surround yourself with, because those people know that life is not all about them. They know that you are able and responsible enough to make choices in your best interest. And they know that support is not about how they want it, but about how it works best for the individual. Allow yourself to connect with those people. Because when you're bored, when you're lonely, when you're self-isolating, your mind is actively in survival mode. It starts to experience triggers that you become hypersensitive to. Maybe a drop of a sound, maybe a scent, a smell, a sight of something kicks you into that fight or flight mode where you're not sure what to do with yourself. Anxiety might kick in, depression might kick in. You start feeling like you're not good enough, like you will never get enough. So to avoid sentencing yourself to that negative thought zone, survival state, fight flight mode, please connect with people that will be able to hold hands with you, talk some sense into you when needed, because we all need to be talked some sense into once in a while, and allow yourself to heal. While we're doing that, finally, last but not least, number 6, and I would encourage you to keep this in mind going into a new relationship, so that if this ever happens to you again, it's not something you go into a relationship expecting, oh, I know there's going to be a breakup already. If that happens, then you're probably not healed from this one yet. Go into this relationship with an open mind. However, keep in mind, you are a whole you before this person. We're not merging and enmeshing ourselves into this person so much so that they're not able to breathe. We're suffocating the life out of them. You are a whole you. You had things you enjoyed doing. You had family. You had friends. You had people you enjoyed spending time with. You had activities you enjoyed doing. Please maintain some of the things that brought you joy and fulfillment. Because if this partner is a healthy one and has your best interest at heart, has the relationship's best interest at heart, they're going to do what they can to support that dream, because they would also want to maintain a part of their individuality. And so as the both of you work together to find that identity that you both want to reflect the relationship that you have, you would also, in the process, support each other to maintain the side of them that they have decided or chosen to maintain. Now, when this happens, if by any chance, and again, we're not wishing for it, but if by any chance the relationship does not work out, you are not left feeling bitter and resentful and angry and devalued, because you still have that side of you to hold on to start with, to continue with. I find the people that struggle the most after a broken relationship are people who went into relationships, forgot who they were, or chose to intentionally let go of who they were just to be with this person, whether by choice or whether they felt they were forced to do so. And now they don't have that identity anymore. They don't know what to do with themselves. So please, you are a whole human. You were created for a purpose. Your footprint is highly valued and needed on this earth. Do not sacrifice it just to prove to a man or a woman that you want to be with them. Maintain a side of you. Maintain your purpose. Build together with this person, so that if they were no more in your life, you still have a life. You still have a purpose. You still have a reality. You still have a journey. It's at the end of the day, that is a choice that you make. Remember that you always have a choice. And I'm not talking about extreme situations where severe abuse could be going on, to the point where people feel like it's either they endure it or they die. I'm talking about situations where there are people who have a very high tolerance for BS. If you're like me, you have a high tolerance for BS when it comes to relationships. Now, having a high tolerance for BS is a choice. It does not guarantee you any desired outcome. It just means you have decided to stay in that relationship for reasons best known to you. So take responsibility for it. When things don't work out, choosing to take responsibility for the fact that you had a say as to how long you were in that relationship and as to whether or not you were the one who called it off and choose to move on. You taking responsibility for that gives you that power that this was a choice you had and you chose to do this. And now you can hopefully reevaluate those choices and make better choices in the future in your best interest, without living feeling like, oh, I gave up everything for you. I gave you my life, my soul, my everything, and you did this to me. You are horrible. You are miserable. You are a demon. No. Whatever ability that person had to make choices, whatever choices that person had, you also have. They didn't have to be the one to call things up. They didn't have to be the one to make the choice. You could have equally done so. You chose not to. It's a choice. And that's okay. If they have chosen to do what they chose to do, that's okay too. Respect their choices. Take responsibility for the pieces that you could have done differently. Reflect, work on that to do better in the future. And let's transition to the next step, the next stage. All of these skills are skills that can be taught to you or that you can get help with from a professional therapist. They're not just there for people with severe mental illness diagnosis. They're also there to support you if you're going through a breakup, if you're going through a transition, if you're going through grief, loss, if you're going through relational stressors, if you're looking to save your relationship and you want to work on yourself, if you're looking to just become a better version of yourself. Reach out, find a therapist where you are, and get the support that you need. Let me know what is the worst breakup you've ever had and how you handled it. Add to the principles or the steps that we've talked about already. Put them in the comment section. Let's build a community to support each other. Because at the end of the day, no man is an island. And you may have done it better than I did. Or you may have better steps than I have shared. So please, do not gatekeep. Share those steps with us so that the community can get more resources to work with. Until I see you again, I am Becca. This is the Dim Dim Podcast. And Sabe, San Dim Dim.